What is up, Ludybros Army? The Ludy Boys are back, and we have got something to sit down and discuss because we've been talking about it for months. We've been going back and forth about it for months with fans, with special guests, and the truth came out last night. So, Lil Bro, why don't you go ahead, and I'm going to let you eat first today because I know that this has been eating at you. This has been eating at you for at least a year. Why don't you go ahead and start us off with what we need to talk about today?
Well, first things first, I need to start off by getting a chair so I can have Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, pop a squad next to me, and just watch the rest of the NBA playoffs with us. So let me just grab a chair real quick.
Okay, you grab a chair so that the Clippers can come sit down with the rest of us. There you go.
They can share the seat right here. They can share it.
They can come along and watch the rest of it, rest of the NBA playoffs with us from home.
Listen, we've been saying it for months now. And listen, Kawhi Leonard, great player, okay? He's improved since he's come into the league, and he's the third best player in the league. That's where I have him. Mm-hmm. But you cannot sit out half the season and expect to just do what you do in the playoffs. Last year, okay, like the Raptors knew he wasn't going to stay long term, and they had to basically, everyone else played but Kawhi on that team. So, and that team was a playoff contending team to begin with. So the reason why he had so much success is because of the Raptors played as hard as they can because they knew this was going to be their only opportunity to at least have a shot at winning the title. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave that there. Mm-hmm. You cannot, and you said it too. So Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Paul George, Kawhi been in and out all season long, and they only played about 23 games together. That's not going to get it done. And you said it. Chemistry matters, and right now they don't have it. Yeah, they don't. And it showed up in the playoffs. You went up 3-1, then the Joker came in and ran you guys out of the building.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I kept making that comment. All season long as we would sit down and do these videos together that you had to have chemistry. You have to play together. You have to play together so then that way when the stuff hits the fan and you're in a dogfight in the playoffs, you know where you're going to go with the ball. You know who's going to be able to produce for you. They didn't have that. And the proof was in the pudding last night. In the fourth quarter, Kawhi and Paul George completely disappeared. Now this is where, people are talking about Kawhi like he's the best closer in the NBA, all because he bounced the ball 4 times on the rim last year against the Philadelphia Sixers to get them into the NBA Finals. And he's not the best closer. He's a front runner. If he's got a lead, he can beat you. If he's got a lead, he can beat you. But
I don't know about that now.
Well, actually, you know what? You're 100% right for saying that. If he had a 3-1 series lead, and this is a team that was constructed to beat LA in the Western Conference Finals and make it into the NBA Finals. We have all these so-called experts. We have all these guys on TV saying he's the best player in the NBA. He's the best closer in the NBA. This is that guy. You're not that guy. Let's be honest and be real about it. I was one of the happiest people when the Raptors beat the Warriors. I was happy that the Raptors beat the Warriors, but I knew what it was. They beat them because the Warriors were depleted. No Kevin Durant, and if Klay Thompson doesn't go down with injury, we might not even be talking about the Raptors like that. And then where would Kawhi be? The thing of this is that when people start putting that pressure on you, Kawhi had a ton of pressure now this season because people are calling him the best player in the NBA. Paul George had a ton of pressure to come over and produce. We've never seen Paul George produce. He's been playing for the Indiana Pacers for the longest time. For OKC he played, and he wasn't able to produce. He wasn't able to get those teams anywhere. And this playoff P nickname that he crowned himself with, you know what? It was all a joke. It was all a joke all season long. People going for the Clippers, hey, wake up call. This team they were constructed with one goal in mind. And when you're built like that, this is exactly what's going to happen to you. Somebody else is going to step in with a different mindset and a different playing style, and they're going to be able to beat you. And that's exactly what happened here. And if you have the best player on the planet, you're able to get around that. Well, here's the proof now. You didn't have the best player on the planet because you couldn't do it. You're up 3-1 and you couldn't do it. So this is just, enough with the Kawhi narrative. That's enough. This proves it. You're up 3-1 and you can't get it done.
Well, not only that, in Game 7 in the fourth quarter, you don't score.
You know what? If LeBron went in a Game 7, didn't score,
He would have been murdered
today, this year, he'd been murdered. He'd been dragged through the street. He would have been dragged through the street and hung up, at the end of the street. And what are people doing with Kawhi? Oh, it's Lou Williams' fault. He didn't do anything. Oh, it's Doc Rivers' fault. You know what? All the Clippers have some blame, but you have to put it on the leader of the team. You put it on him first.
Well, who's the leader of the team?
Most of it. It's Kawhi. It's Kawhi's the leader. Well, you know what? Yes, it is, because he's the one who's getting the praise. He's the one who's getting the adulation that he's the best player in the NBA. He's the one who's talking about tell LeBron to come guard me. Tell LeBron to come guard me earlier in the season. Yes, it is on Kawhi. That's enough with this whole quiet guy doesn't know how to speak to the media thing, because he sure was talking, behind closed doors. He sure was talking. So that's enough. That's enough with it. Like Kawhi Leonard, you are a good player. You're a top 5 NBA player, but there's a big difference between the top player and the number 5 player. When you start looking at it like that, there's a big difference between those two guys. So, LeBron James, if this was him, if this was LeBron James's series where he was up 3-1 and he gave up a 3-1 series lead and let teams come back from double-digit deficits multiple times, they would be clowning him. They'd be crucifying him. Kawhi Leonard was the next closest thing to Jordan. That's what they were telling me, that he was the closest thing to Jordan. Come on. That's a joke. That's a joke. And just looking at the numbers, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in a Game 7. So that's it. You're the best player in the NBA, and you got Finals MVP on your resume. You got NBA champion on your resume, and that's what you give me? You're a joke. So, yeah, just after a whole season, folks, of the Ludybros talking about this guy. We've got multiple videos on this channel. You can scroll back through and check them out. There's multiple videos on there where we've pointed these things out about this team. There's no chemistry. They don't play together. They think they have a switch that they can just flip. None of that is true. You can't do that in the NBA. You have to be able to play together to put something, out on the floor that's going to give you success. And hats off to the Denver Nuggets, because you know what? If they don't fight, then we never see this. It wasn't just the Clippers choking, The Denver Nuggets had to come out here and they had to produce, which they did. So hats off to Jamal Murray, who I was a little bit upset with in the first couple games of this series. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to lie. But I did say that, and you can attest to this, little bro, I did say that the Joker had to be the main one to carry him, and he did. He's got a triple-double in Game 7. Jamal Murray dropped his 40, but that team was only going to go as far as the Joker took them because the Clippers had no one. Montrezl Harrell couldn't do anything against him for all the stuff they talked about him during the regular season,
Yeah. Yeah, even if they got past him and went to the Lakers, you're still dealing with the same problems as the Nuggets. They're undersized, and they don't really have a true big man. Like Montrezl Harrell is deserving of the 6th Man of the Year award, but when you go up against someone who's elite down low, like the Joker is, you're gonna get killed, and that's what happened to him.
Well, is he deserving of it? Dennis Schroeder had a great year. He was showing out this year as a 6th Man of the Year. There's other guys coming off the bench, and this is the thing about it. If that team is constructed with Kawhi at the top, and they're saying that they need more, what more do you need?
They traded the farm for Paul George, so you should have all you need right there.
Yeah, you should have everything that you need, to go to battle here, and like we were touching upon, the Joker, he's able to get whatever he was getting, whatever he wanted. At the end of the game, he's throwing the ball over his head. And then you have Patrick Beverley trying to take out Jamal Murray on that final play where he passes the ball. Joker throws the ball over his head. Jamal Murray goes in for the layup, and then Patrick Beverley's yanking him down to the ground. The game's already over and decided. Patrick Beverley, you're a little scumbag. In my opinion, you're just a little scumbag for, the way that you play. You're out there parading around. You're a front runner. You can beat your chest whenever you guys are winning. But when I haven't heard an interview from you since, where are you? Where are you? You talk. Where are you? So, yeah, that team, the Clippers, and Doc Rivers deserves a lot of blame too. He does, because he's got the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history as a coach.
Yep.
So I think that might be something that they want to take a look at as an organization. But everything that went down, it went down for a reason. Those guys from opening tip, they had the Lakers in their sights. They were overlooking everybody else in the West. They overlooked everybody else in the West. And then when it hits the fan and a team puts up some fight, which I don't think they would have got by Dallas. Speaking of teams fighting, I don't think they would have got by Dallas. So if Porzingis is there and he doesn't get that bogus throw out in game 1, that might have even been enough. Even if the rest of the series transpired the way that it did, that might have been enough for Dallas to win. But hey, for me, it was a happy day because it just validates everything that we've been saying. We've got video after video on this channel discussing Kawhi, and this validates everything that we called when it came to the Clippers, and most importantly, to Kawhi. So
yeah, it did, and especially, and they'll just points out, real quick that Paul George is a one-game wonder type of player. I'm really disappointed, and we said in this video he has a lot to prove in these NBA playoffs, and he once again doesn't show up when it matters. And that's your quote unquote, like they want to call Kawhi and Paul George the best defending, wings or whatever. Well, we might have to relook at that because after that, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Because if the Denver Nuggets can come back and run you out of the gym 2 games or 3 games in a row, that's not. I don't think they're that great defensively.
If you can't protect your lead, you're up 19 in one game, they're up 16 in another game. You can't protect your lead, and you can't get the stop. But like I said, they were running that. They ran that offense through Joker. They're putting him in the middle of the floor and they're letting him pick them apart. And Lil Bro, like I said, you could tell him this. I said it from the first game. I said Jamal carried him through the Utah series, and I said Jokic is going to have to be the one to carry them through this series. And in each game that they won, he was the one who kind of took things over for Denver and got it done. And like you said, if Joker could do that to them, where he's an elite big man, then what do they think was going to happen when they matched up with the Lakers? For anybody who still wants to defend themselves, I'm thinking of someone like Max Kellerman. I haven't heard him today, but I'll be looking for him because I bet you that he's going to say something like this. I still think that the Clippers would beat the Lakers if they matched up. The thing is, if you match up with an elite big man who can put the ball on the floor and who can pass, then you are in trouble. That was one of the reasons why they were having issues with Porzingis when he was in the lineup. He was a big man who could do some things. He could stretch the floor and he could move the ball. Jokic could shoot the ball and move the ball. If you match up with a big man like that, which Anthony Davis is a big man like that, that's going to give you some issues. That's going to give you some problems. And I just don't see how. I just don't see how. I just don't see how people could look at that team and then say, unless they're just sipping that Kawhi Kool-Aid so much.
Well, that's what it is, man. They're a prisoner of what happened last year. Kawhi Leonard hit the game winner off the four bounce, and he went to the finals and beat the Warriors, even though they don't want to say that the Warriors were, broken at that point.
I can admit, injuries are part of the game. They didn't have their horses, and that's what it is. They got the championship out of it. But the truth is here. The proof is in the pudding. If you put that Warriors team back at, give him back Clay. Just give him back Clay for the rest of the series. I think it might turn out differently, but for sure, if they had Durant, there's no way that Raptors team wins. But that's fine. I'm glad. Like I said, I was glad Raptors won. But this year, with this team as constructed, there was no way that they were going to come out of the West. There was no way. You and I were saying that from the opening tip, from the start of the season. We were saying that there's no way that this team's coming out of the West, and we have been proven right. So, little bro, why don't you get us up out of here for this video? Ludybros fans, be on the lookout. We're going to be getting a Western Conference preview out there to you. We've got an Eastern Conference preview out there. Even though Game 1 already happened, you should go check it out. But this video was solely dedicated to the Cyborg and to the Clippers. So, little bro, I'm gonna let you have the
Mid-range
last word if you want.
monster, as our father would like to say. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us once again. Like we said, please stay tuned for that Western Conference preview. We'll have it up to, I think, maybe later today. So, yep, stay tuned for that. Also, check out our other content. We got a bunch of stuff on here you guys want to check out. Also, be on the lookout for our Mandalorian Season 2 possible predictions. So, stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.